We have amongst us a radiant and alluring personality, Dr. Anupal Goyal, a famous dermatologist of our town. And Dr. Anupal Goyal runs her own clinic by the name of Twacha Skin Care Center. She is the alumni of National Skin Center at Singapore, fellow at St. Vincent's Hospital, Melbourne, been an aesthetic practice for over 20 years, accredited with innumerable fellowships and aesthetic dermatology.
Good afternoon, everyone. While this PowerPoint is opening up, let me thank IMA for giving me this opportunity to be here to share some newer trends in cosmetic dermatology with all of you. I'm going to be very quick and not going into a lot of technical details about the procedure. My mainstay is going to be about how we aestheticians or dermatologists mix and match our therapies to get the best possible results for our patients. All right. I have named it aesthetic potpourri because we're going to be mixing and matching our therapies. Dr. Navtej has asked me to be a little fast here. So how do we start? Most of our dermatologist friends and aestheticians take a lot of time explaining to our patients what they expect from the procedures that we are doing. What I do is I listen first. I need to understand what the patient wants. Then I tell them what I can do, and I never overpromise. Please remember that promising always gets you in a ditch. Understand what they want, and then explain. Since aesthetic dermatology is not an emergency medicine, please remember the cost of the therapy is to be discussed with the patient prior to the end result that you are kind of promising. Each patient is specific, so be very specific in the choice of treatments that you are trying to do. You can't have the same recipe for all your patients landing to you. And please do advise your patients never ever to go for OTC treatments. We've all talked about healthy lifestyle. As I say, and as most of our aesthetician friends say, skin is just a cover. What you put inside shows outside. So live healthy for a healthy skin and a glowing skin. I'm not touching that at all since we have less time. Sunscreens have been a mainstay in aesthetic dermatology. They always would be. And what needs to be understood is that sunscreens are to be worn inside the house also, since we all are living in an era of LEDs and lights and computers. There is no skin trouble on the face or on the body that cannot be treated if you approach it logically. I call it perfectly imperfect. We all are perfect as we are. It's all about self-esteem. The latest trends are, we start with men. We've had a lot of, the number of men coming to the clinic for cosmetic needs is highly increasing because they're kind of jealous about women taking care of themselves more than them. We've got a lot of newer molecules in topical and oral dermatology, which I would not be touching. Coming to what procedures I'm going to be mixing and matching. We've got peels, we've got fillers, we've got fractional laser, radio frequency, microdermabrasion, Hydra, PRP, needleless meso, botulinum toxin, threads, a whole lot of them. Vanity is inbuilt. Nobody is born without that vanity. All colors are beautiful. But we live in India, and we've seen that fairness is like an obsession. How did this happen? It happened by IV. It did not happen by creams. It's IV glutathione or Fern Block Oral to give a complete recession to your melanocytes, and of course, that kind of changes the skin color by a shade or two. We've got innumerable lasers. Most of us have kitty of lasers in our clinics. We mix and match them for the best possible results. So I'll not be telling you the technicalities about the lasers. I can show you what I have. I've got a gentle YAG Pro U, which is a 1064 nanometer long pulse Nd:YAG. Works beautifully for laser hair removal. I've been doing long pulse Nd:YAG for over 20 years, and I've kind of hardly had any misses. CO2 microfractional lasers, the age-old variable pulse light, active radio frequency is done for contouring and non-surgical face and body lift. for a quick glow, there's a hydroxygenation, which again doesn't need to be. Chemical peels have been there for ages now. The only thing is that I prefer to do non-ablative chemical peels, cold compressed, no downtime. Patient goes out of the clinic smiling, doesn't need to stay back at home because you've burned their skin. Injectables are hugely in. We've got fillers, we've got botulinum toxin. This is what is it? Botox. It is botulinum toxin in men. And we have to understand as aestheticians that the way we do botulinum toxin in women and in men differs. When the facial anatomy is different, the injectable technique cannot be the same. Mesotherapy came in a couple of years back, and it came with a bang. It has its own positives, but then the side effect was that we were poking in a 23 or a 26 gauge needle into the patient hundreds of times in one area. So what we did, we resorted to needle-free meso. Now, the latest trend in needle-free meso or in needle meso is platelet-rich plasma, which is done for both hair growth and stimulation and as an anti-aging therapy. Technicalities, let's skip. How it works, I'm not bothered right now. What is important here is this. When you are using a hypodermic 23 or 26 gauge needle, what do we don't have? We don't have the control on depth. We're just putting it inside and going tuck, 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 and we don't know where we're going. Where we need to be is mid-dermis. So we need something that delivers our product there. So if we use micro needles, the trouble is that the micro needles they just cross the dermo-epidermal junction. We fall short of the depth that we need to be in. So here comes electrophoresis. Electrophoresis is a technique wherein the cellular membrane is disrupted, the medicine or the active ingredient goes in, and once you pull out the needles, since they are micro glitches, they seal by themselves. So here you can see how it works on the cellular level. Personally, I've been doing needle-free micro. There was a video here, I'm sorry they could not upload this. It showed needleless meso being done around the eye area, which is a boon because we do not have a lot of non-ablative therapies to be done around the eye area. This is not one of the pictures of my patients, but yes, needle-free meso for hair growth works beautifully. We've had excellent results. But here I would like to point quickly for my aesthetic dermatologists that we do not use alone the platelet-rich plasma. When you centrifuge blood, you get 3 types of plasma. You get the rich plasma, you get the mediocre plasma, and then you get the poor plasma. Please use only the rich plasma. Do not bother that the patient's plasma is less. You can add hair growth stimulants, you can add peptides, you can add, there are these stem cell stimulators which are not very readily available, but yes, they are available to get the requisite amount to push into the patient's head. Poor plasma does not work. It just kind of increases the volume of that is in the syringe. A couple of, we've come to threads. Threads is my last resort in the potpourri. Now, we've done everything. Still the patient has a sag or needs a lift. Put the threads as your last option. Threads is nothing. It's physics. It's like a stirrup. You're tenting up the skin. You've got jowls. You pull it up towards your ear, technically, and create a tenting inside. And the threads are basically, I'll show you how it works here. Now, thread is like a tent. They've got these small little barbs on them, or they are twisted around the needle. So when you put them in, you give them a tug at the exit point and just cut off the thread. Even if there is a thread lying outside, it dissolves by itself, so none of us has to worry about that. So here, you can see wherever you want to put it, put the threads, subdermal, pull them into the stirrup, leave them, cut them, chop them. But question is, are the threads doing just a physical thing or they're doing something more? They are doing a lot more. They're creating a collagen stimulation channel where the thread is going subdermal. It is stimulating collagen there. Now, once the collagen is stimulated, even if this thread dissolves, which it will in the next couple of weeks, you still have a lot of collagen pulling your skin up and taking away the sag. Contouring. I use a radiofrequency machine for contouring. People use wool therapy, cryo. The choice is yours. It's just how you're mixing up your therapies. So, no technicalities here. This is how it works. Menopause. I call it me-no-pause. I've split it up. Why would a woman want to pause after menopause? It's just another physiological stage in your life. Go ahead, live it as you would. So don't let it disrupt your normal life. You are as old as you think you are in your head. Turn back the time if you're not happy with what you look, what you want yourself to be. Understand the patient need. This is a patient, why I just subjectively put her here was because she did not want anything except the eyes to be done. So do not spend your time counseling patients who are stuck up on one area. Now this is one of my patients who was a 63-year-old female. You can see a lot of facial aging, tissue loss, lines, sagging. And the second picture is what after a couple of therapies that we did. Now the question here is, did I do one therapy? No, I did not. I mixed and matched my therapies to get the best result I could deliver. So obviously you change their lifestyle, you give them skincare, and you ask them to eat healthy. But what do you do as a physician? You give customized skincare. There's a list of how to proceed with your therapies. Here the take home for the dermatologist friends is do your heat treatments in the first segments. Plan out so that you're doing all the heat treatments much before your botulinum toxins, threads, fillers, because the heat is going to dissipate and dissolve what you've created. So keep your therapies orderly in a way that you do not have to do heat therapies, radio frequency, lasers, anything after you've done your botulinum toxin or your fillers or your threads. As I said earlier, I keep my threads the last. Assess your patient. Assess your patient while they are not in expression, while they are in expression. Here, the point to be noted is the male brow. I will not touch this male brow because if I do Botox on this male brow, he will have an arched brow, which is a very, very feminine thing to have. Now, this is another patient who's got ice-picked scars, dyschromia, sagging. Again, had this been an interactive session, I would have asked my dermatologist friends to throw in their ideas. But here, again, go slow. Start with skin resurfacing. In the end, think about the sag. Once the skin is hydrated and well placed, sometimes lifting is not required. Another patient who looks fine but is concerned about the sagging under the skin, the chin, radiofrequency works beautifully. You don't have to do a lot of stuff for him. A young girl, a PCOD, freckles, disrupted grade 1 acne, go slow. Try to treat the skin surface first, including your PCOD status. Give me a sec more. Tear trough to be done with fillers. Acne, see this. This is a grade 4 acne scarring. And after a couple of treatments, and this is her, after we finished treating her and put her on maintenance. Another patient of acne. All right. Acne treatment is extremely gratifying once you reach the final endpoint because the patient starts to look like a new person altogether. Acne scars being treated, for me, the best that works for acne scars is a combination of needling, both RF, CO2, and laser photogenesis. It works beautifully. You don't have to do the old age substitution. You take a needle, you cut off the scar under the cut off the fibrosis under the scar. This is a patient that I wanted to show you. She had post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation with grade 2 acne. This is her picture actually without makeup. She is not made up. She's just wearing a lip gloss. So acne we've discussed. I wanted to ask a lot of my derm friends. I still have a question about grays. We don't have much to offer for gray hair when we're doing laser hair removal. If the patient has some redundant pigmentation underneath, we are lucky, the patient's happy. Otherwise, I don't think we've got much for grays. Right, and there we go. I'm going to be quick. Yeah, laser photogenesis works beautifully for scars, a post-thyroidectomy scar, gone in 5 sessions. Extremely gratifying. Laser contouring will just show you some pre and post pics so that you know how it is done. I sometimes combine my lasers with the threads in case there's a lot of sagging. You can see this is 3 sessions active radio frequency. You can see the lift of the lower tummy. And this is how it works. The skin surface is improved, wrinkles are better. This is not yet complete treatment. We need to do about 5 sessions. We've just done 3 as yet. Before and after of arms, lower abdomen. Okay, right. These are all pictures. Yeah, this is something new. Long pulse NDAC works beautifully in onychomycosis. So dermatologists who have a long pulse 1064, please try using it for nail onychomycosis. Don't tell that you go to an aesthetician. You were born beautifully. Thank you so much.